Morning! You join me on day 2 of our 3-day trip here up in Scotland. We have just left our hotel just outside of Stirling and we're heading from here over to Breamar, from Breamar across to Inverness, Inverness all the way over to Applecross, and then from there we head to our hotel for tonight. It's nice and sunny, it's dry, it's quite warm. It was the same yesterday for most of the day, so hopefully it stays like this all day. Now today's route is around 320 miles and there's a lot of very nice roads up towards the top end of Scotland near Applecross, so I might not film everything just to save the camera's battery and a little bit of memory space. At the last set of lights, my dad was pointing to his fuel tank, so I presume he's in the same position as me with fuel, not far off reserve. I have done just over 209 miles on this tank so far, which is 74.3 miles per gallon, so I think we're going to try and find some fuel. Now back at that fuel station there, I did zero my trip A again, just so I know how many miles I've done on this tank, and so I know roughly how many I've got left in a tank, as this bike does not have a range calculation. So what I found the best thing to do is to work out roughly what miles per gallon equals what mileage out the tank. So I know if I get near 70 miles per gallon, I know I'm good for over 200 miles, so just something to bear in mind if you do fancy looking at this bike. Back at the fuel station, I also cleaned off all of the bug body parts off the windscreen, so hopefully it stays clear so you guys can see the road and the view well. I am really struggling in this video today. I want to film absolutely everything. It seems a shame to turn the camera off, but the battery is a little lower than I would like it to be. So I think what I'll do is I'll turn the camera off for now and I'll bring you guys back further down the road. Now I know I just said I was going to turn the camera off for a little bit, but I couldn't ride through this without showing you the view. This is the start of the Cairngorms. Now my wife at the moment is thinking about doing her CBT and in the long run getting her test done, and I'm hoping when I get home and I show her these views it gives her a bit of a nudge towards doing so, because I would love it if she came on these trips with me. Are you okay? Are you sure? Yeah? Bang on. Have you come off?
Yeah.
You have?
Yeah.
You sure you're okay? Take care, buddy.
Thanks, mate. And you. Have a good one.
Well, that's not good. That rider had been coming around the corner a bit too quick, or from what he says, a bit too quick. And then he's gone off the road, bent his forks, and the bike's not rideable. So by the sounds of things, he's got a bit of a wait for recovery to arrive. He is okay though, thankfully. You going stiff?
Alright, Bobby.
You going stiff?
What?
You going stiff?
Eh?
We are now between Grandtown and Inverness, I believe. It's a very nice road to be on with a motorbike. We've just passed a sign at the last junction, and it said 10 miles to Inverness, so it shouldn't be too long before we find somewhere for lunch. You decided, Sam?
Yeah, I did. No.
Yeah. What are you going for?
Could I have the beef signature?
You want Sam?
1-0.
1-0?
Yeah.
Why?
Because the man said that my bank is
He's lying. He's lying.
going on our defence.
Go, just go. Right. Okay, we are now back on the road. We're heading from here up towards Shieldag, and then from Shieldag we go around the peninsula to Applecross. Now we might see further up this road a few signs saying NC 500. Now that stands for North Coast 500, which is a 500-mile route around the north coast of Scotland, taking in some fantastic roads and scenery. If you get the chance to ride it or even drive it, I would definitely recommend giving it a go. I've done it in my camper van with my wife, and it was an absolutely fantastic trip. I haven't done the full thing on my motorbike yet, but it is definitely a trip I would like to do. Now this stretch of road here, round to Shieldag, and then the bit from Shieldag to Applecross, and then down the other side, is my favourite section on this trip. The only downside to it is a lot of it is single track like this, single width. So There's quite a bit of waiting for cars to get past, but it's definitely worth it. Now, before I forget, I will leave a link to the route we've done today down in the description below, and I'll also do that for part 1 of the Scottish trip and part 3, just in case you fancy giving this route a go. Highland cows. My wife will be happy now I've seen those. I was chatting to a rider on Tuesday, 2 days before I set off on this trip, and we had the conversation of, if you could have any bike to do this route, what would you choose? So let me know down below, if you had the choice of any bike out there, money no object, what bike would you choose and why? This section here for the next 10 miles is my favourite section we're doing today. I'm sure you can see why. I was hoping to get the drone out here, but it's definitely too windy for that today. That's Applecross. That's where we are heading to now. So we've just left Applecross and we're now heading over the top and down the other side towards Loch Carron. I think we've timed this really well today. It's 10 to 6, so the roads are really quiet. It can get very busy up here in the summer. Now this section of road here is very popular, it's very well known, so I'm going to try and film as much of it as I can, and then I think what I'll do when I come to edit this video and post it is I'll put some music over the top. Now there's one of those signs I was talking about earlier, the NC 500 signs. They are all over. If you do this route, it's quite easy to navigate because those signs pretty much tell you exactly where to go. Okay, 45 miles to the hotel, and then it's time for tea. What an absolutely brilliant day today's been. I really couldn't have asked for much more today. The roads have been brilliant, they've been nice and quiet, the weather's been perfect. Definitely can't complain. Now if you are enjoying this video, and if you've got to this point in the video, I presume you are, please subscribe. Please let me know down below as well which part of this ride has been your favourite bit. Maybe you've done some of this route. If so, let me know. Sam's happy. Now I know we're not quite there yet, but I just wanted to give you a quick update on mileage. So we have covered 515.2 miles since we left home yesterday afternoon. We've used 6.9 gallons of fuel, and that works out at 75.1 miles per gallon. I'm not quite sure how far the trip is tomorrow back home, so I don't know what we'll be finishing on, but I would guess it would be around the 250 mile mark. So we are 2.7 miles away from the hotel. I am again sharing a room with Sam. His snoring last night was horrendous, so hopefully he is a little less noisy tonight. The battery on the GoPro is going flat though, so I will finish the video there. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe, and I will see you in tomorrow's video, part 3. Sam. 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 Told you it was bad.